Hello, my name is Aaron Bagwell, and I did my program plan executive summary on adult learner orientation. So, orientation can be defined as a collaborative institutional effort to enhance student success by assisting students and their families in the transition to the new college environment. Um, Many orientation programs at institutions, they have them for various populations on campus. So you see them for traditional students, you see them for transfer students, and you also see them for foreign exchange students. However, you don't see too many for adult learners, if any. And with higher education changing rapidly, the program would benefit the growing population. A study was done by Sudlow and Hoyer and Odell in 2009, and it discovered that grade point averages in non-traditional students were higher than those of their traditional cohorts. Um, what this means is the two college populations, they learn differently and they have each of their own needs. The objective of my program would be to help adult learners with the confusing and sometimes daunting tasks of higher education. Um, a lot of times, a student can go to campus and someone will use a confusing terminology. And so, really making sure that the student is able to understand what's going on and get the help that they need is very important. At my program, they will have help from financial aid advisors, academic advisors, career advisors, faculty in accelerated courses, and along with maybe someone from IT to help with online learning programs such as Canvas or something similar like Blackboard. The audience of my orientation program would be specifically to adult learners. Anyone over the age of 25 can qualify for this special orientation program. In addition to the age, we will have special accommodations available to anyone that may be physically disabled. And our orientation program really accepts everyone, and making sure that it's a very safe space for everyone is important as well. So I would like the institution that I work for to support the program. Specifically, we would need support from the different areas, such as advising staff, the career advising staff, financial aid staff, the event staff, and other university members in order for the program to be a success. In addition to the internal support, having external support is very important as well. So, making sure that the community is aware of what's going on, I think would really be beneficial to not only the students, not only the institution for being seen as a accepting and a very accommodating university, but it would also be beneficial to the community because you have more educated people in your community. So, the format of my orientation program would be an in-person, face-to-face meeting. So we know that a lot of times students do not feel comfortable using technology, or they may not know how to use it. Or they may not even have it. So making sure that it is in person and it is the traditional format is very important for this to be a success. Um, I would like, when I recruit an instructor to speak on accelerated programs, I would like for that instructor to be an adult learner, just because being able to connect and understand where the instructor is coming from would be very beneficial to these adult learners. Sometimes adult learners feel discouraged and they may not get the support that they need, and making sure that we have someone in the program that understands the struggles that this population goes through is very important, and it would be beneficial to the student. In order to evaluate my program, I would have two surveys. One survey at the beginning of the meeting and the other survey at the end of the meeting. The survey at the beginning of the meeting will just talk about different resources, if they've ever used them before, if they've ever been a student before, and just their basic information. At the end of the meeting, they're going to get a survey that will talk about the difference, what they've learned, what they where the services are that they need to go to, and that way we can see how they're doing in that regard, how they did at the program. There will also be an option on the survey to allow researchers, perhaps undergraduate students, to track and follow the students throughout their college career. So every time a student utilizes a resource on campus that was mentioned in the orientation program, they will get a hit on their profile. And basically every time they go to an academic advisor, they will get a little number, and that number will increase by the time they graduate. And so we will be able to track the amount of times that they have utilized the different resources on campus by the time they graduate with the HIT system. So the staff that I would need at least 2 representatives from each department in academic advising, career advising, financial aid, and IT. In order to get a faculty member to come, I would ask them to volunteer their time, and I don't think that would be a problem. And since academic advisors, career advisors, financial aid advisors, and IT certainly are required to be at traditional orientation programs and other programs on campus, one more on campus would not be a problem, I don't think. The budget, marketing, and the facility that I use. So approximately $1,500 per orientation program. There's only going to be 3 orientation programs per year, one in the fall, one in the winter, and one in the summer. And that would total up to about $4,500 per year. In order to cover the funds, I would want to perhaps steal the funds from another area that has a lot of money, such as athletics. I know that probably would pose a problem to that department, and it's really not that easy, but I could look into it. Or the other option is charging a student orientation fee in order to cover the costs. So oftentimes students have to pay the orientation fee when they get to college, and it's kind of included in their financial aid package, or it's taken out of, or it's built to their account. So the same idea would go for the adult learner orientation program. Sometimes, however, adult learners do not get financial aid due to the amount of money that they make or other factors, but so that could be an issue there. In order to market my program, I would send out flyers, emails, and include a special invitation in their admission packet. So making sure that they get the admission packet and we're able to identify who identifies as an adult learner would be very important because we're trying to market this. This is a new pilot program, and we want it to do as well as we can. The event would probably take about 6 months to plan. So in order we would need to make sure that the room is reserved, there are not any other events taking place, and that the dates work. So this program will also take place in the evening to allow for working adults. So the typical student can, come in the summer or take time off of school, and they actually can spend the night at the university sometimes, and it's all the way from a day to a weekend event. My program will not be like that due to the different factors that adult learners are dealing with. So making sure that it is in the evening is important for the program to be a success. So overall, this program would be beneficial to the students, the institution, and the community that the institution is housed in. Making sure that we're able to present the results after a year of this pilot would be very important to keep the program running. Adult learners need and deserve the extra help sometimes, and the program would ensure that they are getting the help and the resources that are specifically available to them as adult learners. A lot of times we put focus into honors students or traditional age students or other students that are need a little bit of help. However, the adult learners don't really see any of that extra support oftentimes. So in addition to making sure that the event was a success, the overall goal of the program is to support this population. The population is growing extremely fast, and we need the workforce. There's not enough people in the workforce, and so the population of adult learners really is growing at an increased rate. So making sure that the population has all the resources that they need to be able to exceed is extremely important, especially when they already have so many odds against them. So, they could have dropped out of school. They may have not even started school. They could have had a family early on in life. There could have been a lack of funds. So really, they already have all of these things against them. And my program would really help them and push them to succeed in campus.